Well, welcome everybody to the Paranormal Portal. It's our Wednesday edition of this magnificent broadcast. And thank you all for being here with us as always. It is our sincere pleasure to be doing these shows for you, and it means the world to see so many of you come out and just hang out with us. So welcome. If you're new to the show, thanks for giving us a shot. And if you're not new to the show, thanks for coming back. And I'm not alone here. I'm not alone here. I have, of course, I am joined by my good friend and co-host, the big toe of the Paranormal Portal himself, Mr. Don Longbeard.
The never-ending story.
Don't do that, Don. Oh, God. I ended up watching, like...
Sebastian! Say my name!
No, it wasn't that. It was because I watched Stranger Things.
Oh, yeah.
With Elijah. And there was the one episode where they're singing that over the radios. And it's like, oh, God. Oh, and then it's been stuck in my head ever since. This is like 2 days ago, folks. So it's been a long year in which Don is, of course. If you ever want to give Don something to talk about, just tell him something that annoys you. He'll go to town with it. But special thank you to all of you that have been reaching out via email pertaining to the Paranormal Portal podcast. We had to take a step away from that. We were migrating to a different platform, and we had a bunch of issues to work out. The podcasts will be coming, starting up again very soon. But several of you have reached out to me via email like, hey, what's going on? Are you guys still doing shows? And it's like, wow, yeah, this is really cool. We are still doing shows. It just took longer than expected, so our apologies. And but just watch. The near future will get you more shows. There'll be new episodes. We got several new episodes sitting in the hopper waiting to go. Mm-hmm. But had to wait for a few logistical issues to get solved and worked out. And we are going to be underway very soon. So thank you for all of those of you who check out the podcast. And, of course, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can listen to the Paranormal Portal on iHeart, iTunes, Pandora, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, CastBox, and a whole bunch of other ones, other platforms. So wherever you find podcasts, just do a search for the Paranormal Portal, and you'll find us.
You will find us.
We're there. Yep. So we got that going for us, and so sorry again about the delay. It just took a lot longer than I had anticipated. I anticipated a little break after finishing the third season before starting the fourth season, but not quite this long. But that's just the way it worked out. So just want to throw that out there because I did just get an email yesterday, and before that another one, and before that other ones. So just to let you know, we have not quit podcasting at all. We love doing it. We're going to continue doing the portal until they drag us away from all of this, until they make us quit. So, but so far they're letting us do it.
For the love of God, please stop.
No, they're not doing that, though.
No, that's true.
Hi, Natalie UK. She's saying hello to everybody in one message. Way to roll. Way to get it done, Natalie. But welcome, everybody, to our Wednesday Hump Day evening show. And we are, of course, we have a lot to get through here tonight. I just found out I'm not very good at answering my phone, Don.
Oh, why is that?
I'm missing calls like all the time now. And I don't know what the hell the problem is. It's like my phone can sit for days and nobody calls me. And then like one day it's like bing, bing, bing. You know, I missed like 3 calls today so far.
Yep.
And I don't know what it is. I don't know. But I'm learning. Maybe I should turn the ringer on. I just hate the sound of it. I hate the sound of phones.
It's overrated.
Yeah, it is. I just usually have it on vibrate, but apparently that's not working out real well. But anyway, so if you called me and you know my number, that's honest to God. I don't know why I can't hear my phone ringing anymore. But we have a whole bunch of stuff to get through tonight, so I hope you're ready for you've got a hankering for some paranormal goodness, because we've scooped up a bunch of fresh stuff right from the road here.
With our bare hands.
Yeah, we did with our bare hands, because
paranormal poop.
We like to put some love into it. So anyway, but just suppose it's a good time to thank our sponsor for the night and for many nights. Of course, and I'm speaking of Cryptid coin, ladies and gentlemen. Cryptid coin is a newer cryptocurrency that's out there, and it's got its heart in the core of cryptid research and investigation. This is something we're very excited about. I just had somebody reach out to me on messages going, well, do you have cryptid coin yourself? And full disclosure, I do. I really do. I'm invested in it. Not that you should do what I do, because I'm not able to give advice at all. And this is not cryptid or investment advice at all. This is just saying, hey, these guys reached out, that we're really proud to have them as a sponsor, and this is an opportunity for you. If you're looking for a cryptocurrency investment, look into Cryptid Coin. And so you can learn more by heading over to cryptidcoin.io. Again, cryptidcoin.io. You hear Pikachu? He's such a talker. Cryptidcoin.io for more information and to learn more about Cryptid Coin and see if it looks like a good fit for you. And it's available now on PancakeSwap, so makes getting involved even easier. So special thanks to Cryptid Coin. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. So my cat decided to come in on the tail end of that and start yelling at me. He does that. He does like these circuits of misery. Walk through meowing, and then he'll walk out and meow through the whole house. I don't know what he's doing, but apparently he's just on his own individual parade. And so if you hear that from time to time, my apologies, but he's a vocal little guy. So as always, Don, we've got a lot to get through tonight.
Yep.
So I don't know if you all are ready, but hang on. It's about to get spooky. There's the boom, Don.
There's the boom.
Dropping the boom. All right, folks. Well, we are going to continue on to our journey. Hey, folks. Good to see you, too. Beast Titan. Good to see you, Beast Titan. I don't know if that's the normal Titan.
No.
Is that the Titan we know?
No.
Oh, that's a new name. Good to see you. Well, then, hello, Beast Titan. Welcome to the show. Hope you like it. And stick around. Get involved. Subscribe. We'd love to see you come back.
Yeah, turn green. I don't mean get mean. I meant become a member.
Don's not asking you to Hulk out. He's
not Hulk or bulk. I don't. Yeah, you don't got to rip up for me. I'm okay.
We're just we did enable memberships on the YouTube channel for those of you that would like to get involved in that. Just it should be right down there in your comment thing if you want to get involved in becoming a member of the show. We'd appreciate it. Helps a bunch, but not mandatory, but it's appreciated if you're able to do that. So the show's still free either way. So Don, should we do some news?
Let's do some news.
It's time for the news. God, it's like we rehearsed that or something. Every time we're getting really good at it.
Jointly.
It's time for the news, folks. The most trusted news.
Well,
that still cracks me up.
Somebody's got to claim it.
We are. Well, it's got to be us. Since nobody else seems to be doing it, we'll be the most trusted news for all of you.
There you go.
Welcome to the Paranormal Portal News Desk, ladies and gentlemen, as we go through tonight's fun list of all kinds of weird news, interesting news, not always paranormal, but sometimes it's technological, sometimes it's scientific, and sometimes it's actually paranormal. But
sometimes it comes from where the hell did that come from, Ben?
Yeah, that's definitely it. There's definitely plenty of that. If Mr. Morning Parade keeps going on, we might need to shut the door. I don't know what he's doing. It's like, wow. He doesn't like our show, apparently, Don.
No, apparently not.
All right.
Everybody's got their haters.
Yeah, everybody's got to have a hater.
Everybody's got to have taters.
This is one that I just end up having to feed.
Yeah.
Usually you don't have to feed your haters, but...
well, you should feed the trolls because it's fun.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, coming up on the news here, the first article, that I've curated on your behalf is coming from unexplained-mysteries.com. Great site. Check them out. It's a fantastic site full of not only quick little snippet articles, but they got a ton of other full-featured articles on there. So definitely check it out. Again, that's unexplained-mysteries.com. And the first one up tonight is more spectacular James Webb images revealed. Oh, I didn't want that commercial. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the James Webb telescope is the brand new multi-billion dollar, about 2 years late telescope that finally got out there. It got out into space, and it actually had its first collision with a micrometeoroid.
Nice.
And managed to still work, which is good. But these are some pretty spectacular images that are being beamed back home to us here, and I think they're really breathtaking. I think these are really interesting because it's like for the first time ever, and Hubble did this as well, but to see some of what's going on in our galaxy is just incredible. So this is several more stunning images from the James Webb Space Telescope have now been published by NASA. Actually, there was another one I wanted to read first, and that was this one, which is the first in this series of articles, and this is James Webb Space Telescope reveals its first images. And let's check this out first, again, from unexplained-mysteries.com. President Joe Biden has unveiled the Next Generation Space Telescope's first deep field images of a distant galaxy cluster.
Why does this got to do with the president?
I don't know. They politicize everything, though. So I guess because he's the guy that just happens to be steering the boat or something like that. But this is the first image that I had seen, and this is pretty spectacular. I think those are all universes. It's a galaxy cluster, so that's pretty amazing. It says the patch of sky covered by this view is tiny, equivalent to a grain of sand held at arm's length. So that's how much is visually if you held a grain of sand at arm's length, that's what you would see. Is this much information way, way, way out there. So that's pretty interesting. Captured using the Webb's near-infrared camera, NIR cam, the image shows hundreds of distant galaxies as they appeared 4.6 billion years ago, and is a composite made of multiple shots of different wavelengths that were captured over a period of 12.5 hours. More images from the telescope are expected to be released in the near future, which is now. And we're going to get to that right now, and that brings us to this article, which is earlier today, the space agency released a number of additional images, and we've picked out a few of the most spectacular. Suffice it to say, there will be a lot more of these to look forward to over the coming years. And this is the Carina Nebula is first, and God, that's amazing. Really looks like a storm, doesn't it?
Yes.
The spectacular image shows the edge of a star-forming region of space in the Carina Nebula. Here's the next one. This is situated 7,600 light years away. It shows for the first time previously invisible stars thanks to the telescope's infrared capabilities. Stephen's Quintet.
Wow.
Look at that. Jesus. Wow. This image shows a group of 5 galaxies, all of which being lightly bound, situated in the Pegasus constellation, some 290 million light years away. Wow. Just think it took that light 290 million years to get here.
Right.
Wow. That's spectacular. The Southern Ring Nebula, that's pretty cool looking too. These 2 images taken with different cameras show the expanding cloud of dust and gas around a dying star situated 2,500 light years from Earth.
Wow.
I wonder if it's dead now. I mean, you know, if it was dying then, 2,500 years ago, is it like now not there anymore? I don't know. That's pretty spectacular though. So some pretty impressive images, folks. I know it's not really paranormal, but this is really kind of cool. You're getting a look at what's out there, and I don't know, that to me is absolutely amazing. So you get to hear about it because, well, I'm the one that picks this stuff out.
So how many light years was that? 2,500?
Which one? The last one?
Yeah.
It's 2,500 light years from Earth.
That is 766 parsecs.
Okay. All right.
There you go.
There you go.
It's much closer if you think of it that way.
It sounds less.
And let's remember, parsecs, as opposed to Star Wars, parsecs are not a measure of time. It's a measure of length.
Measure of length, folks.
That's right. I am 1 parsec.
Just taking 1 parsec to explain that. I mean, no. That explanation was 1 parsec long.
No.
I don't know what the hell I'm saying. All right, let's go to the next stuff here. We got more of this stuff to get through. And the next article up is kind of interesting because it's talking about physics. And I don't think we're going to be able to read this because it has to do with gravity and physics. And it's probably going to be a long one. But apparently there's a new theory of gravity out there that apparently removes the need for dark matter to be involved.
Oh.
And it says, new theory of gravity could remove the need for dark matter. What if we could explain the movement of the stars and galaxies without relying on dark matter to fill the gaps? Indranil Banik, a postdoctoral research fellow of astrophysics at the University of St. Andrews, takes a look at an alternative theory of gravity known as Milgromian dynamics. Yeah, that's there you go, Milgromian dynamics, folks. I can already tell you that there's going to be so much in there. Excuse me, that I won't be able to pronounce, but I'll put it in the chat if any of you want to know more about Milgromian dynamics. Yeah, I think we got to shut the door.
Yeah, because he's
being a little meathead. There's a link to it if you guys want to check it out. It is there in the chat. If you want to know more about Milgromian dynamics, then that's where you can find out so much more. Yeah, I don't know, for whatever it's worth. I think it sounds interesting, and it's something I'll probably read through on my own time, but I think that stuff is really interesting. Might be a different theory of gravity out there. And I don't know. The Star Wars makes those ships float somehow.
Yeah.
Maybe it don't need dark matter to do it.
Well, there you go. All right.
They don't need dark matter or parsecs. All right, because parsecs are not time, they're distance. Okay, well, I just learned that. I think that is interesting because it's misrepresented in the Kessel Run.
That's right.
Yep. So, all right, next one up is, I don't know, this is bizarre. This is from brand new. Goat in Pakistan has ridiculously long ears.
Oh my.
Did you hear about that, Don?
Oh,
Thank you.
boy.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh boy.
A goat named Simba could be about to earn its place in the record books thanks to its staggeringly long ears. Born last month in Karachi, Pakistan, this remarkable goat, which has ears measuring 54 centimeters long, has become something of a media sensation in the country.
Wow.
According to a breeder, Mohammed Hassan Narejo, Simba's ears are in fact so extraordinarily lengthy that he finds himself having to fold them back to prevent the goat from standing on them.
Oh, jeez.
I think I saw that movie, but it was an elephant, right?
Yeah.
He's currently hoping to have the animal recognized by Guinness World Records. However, there isn't currently a category for world's longest goat ears, so he is attempting to submit Simba for the accolade of world's longest ears instead. Well, maybe if they're by scale, then sure, why not? It certainly didn't take long for the goat's remarkable ears to attract the attention of the media. Within 10 to 12 days of his birth, he was already appearing on all the national and international media and won a beauty contest.
Oh my gosh.
Says Narit, they got beauty contests for
that
goats.
looks beautiful on my grill.
Comes with its own bacon.
That's right.
Within 30 days, he became so popular that even famous personality might take 25 to 30 years to achieve this level of fame. Really?
Wow.
Okay. Well, it's not looking good for us, Doc.
Yeah, we got beat out by a goat already. Oh, it's a goat. Da-da-da. The greatest of all time.
Yep, he's the goat.
No, we're the goat.
Oh, that's what GOAT stands for.
Yes, greatest of all time.
All
You
this time,
didn't know
I
that?
did not know that.
Oh,
I've heard people using the colloquialism. I just figured, well, that's new and interesting. The greatest of all time. I tell you what, folks, the things I miss in this world. I don't know if that's good or bad or otherwise, but it's just honest.
I
had
my
no idea.
naive friend Brent over here.
Yeah, I have no idea what the things that I haven't understood in the course of my life.
Oh my goodness.
It'd be a pretty big book, is all I'm going to say. All right, next up on the news is the next article.
Maggie says longest ears. They're not kidding.
Oh, boom. Drop that mic, Maggie. All right. The next one's up from unexplained-mysteries.com is elusive black cougar spotted in Oakville, Canada. A black cougar? Wow. Melanistic? Oh. Well, that's what they call it, right?
Yeah, okay.
Right?
Has nothing to do with what went through my head.
Oh, okay. An Oakville resident claims to have witnessed a pure black cougar on the McCraney Creek trails last week. These common felines, which can be found across the Americas, are typically brown in color. However, on rare occasions, there have been reported sightings of cougars with distinctive black coats, raising the question of whether black melanistic cougars might actually be out there. Well, obviously, someone saw one. They're out there. Where's the question? The latest such sighting comes courtesy of Oakville resident Marie Giovanni. Okay. Who Marie, who had been walking down the McCraney Creek Trail when she spotted a black animal on the road ahead of her. It was like a giant cat, she said. I panicked at the moment. I was paralyzed. The animal stopped briefly and stared at her before disappearing into the brush on the side of the path. I've seen black bears and deer, but never even a cougar, she said. I thought cougars were brown. This one was all black. I know it sounds unbelievable, but it was definitely 100% a black cougar. Although she had taken her phone out to snap a picture of the animal, it had unfortunately disappeared before she was able to take the photograph. While the existence of black cougars has never officially been confirmed, this is certainly not the first such sighting in North America, and not even the first this year. According to a report from the Ministry of Natural Resources, biologist Rick Rosate, there were 52 credible sightings of black cougar in Ontario during a study conducted between 2006 and 2010. Until a specimen is found, alive or dead, however, we may never know for sure that they actually exist. So they got 52 credible sightings. They say they're credible, but they still don't say that they're real. Okay. Wow. There you go. Tough crowd, huh? Okay. Yeah. Well, there you go for melanistic cougars.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
What?
Well, just,
I don't know what it takes.
What you call a cougar, I call a peer.
A what?
Peer. P-E-R. P-E-E-R. P-E-R. P-E-E-R.
Okay.
2 E's. P, right. 2 E's, and R. Peer.
Gotcha.
They're my age.
Ah.
They're our age, actually.
I don't think cougars live that long, Tom. See what I did there? See that? Oh, God. I'm here all night.
I'm dying.
Unexplained-mysteries.com brings us our next story, and this one is from brand new. It's a pretty unique kind of bike.
I meant to watch this.
Yeah, so this is about a YouTuber, apparently, who created a pretty unique bike. YouTuber creates a bicycle with 2 half wheels. I think that's really clever, actually. That's pretty cool.
I'm trying to figure out what the point is.
I don't know that there is a point. Yeah, exactly.
Because he can.
Yeah, he just put it together because he could put it together. The novel contraption replaces the standard rear wheel of the bike with 2 halves, which alternate as you ride along. Never underestimate the capacity of some YouTubers to go above and beyond when it comes to creating unnecessary, complicated, and completely pointless contraptions. Have you seen this show? Have you seen this show? I mean, geez. As evidence recently,
this is not a valid menu option.
That's been a while.
I haven't heard that for
months.
Been
a while. Yeah.
I don't know where that even comes from, but thank you for that clarification. Weird voice in my head.
It was more than just in your head. Everybody's hearing it now.
I don't know. I don't even know where that comes from. It's just strange.
Collective psychosis.
Yeah, well, this is a paranormal show, so I guess they're showing up, folks. The paranormal part of the show. Where was I? As evidence recently by this bizarre bicycle with 2 half wheels, created by the talented people behind the channel The Q. I didn't even know there was a channel named The Q, but the front half of the bike appears entirely normal. However, at the back rear wheel has been basically split in 2, with each half separated so that they touch the ground alternately as it rides along. Of course, this peculiar invention has absolutely no purpose whatsoever other than to be an interesting engineering exercise and to serve as a curiosity worth the attracting the views on the YouTube. It does, however, succeed in both quite admirably. I bet you have never seen anything like this, and yes, it's a fully working bicycle. You can ride it every day, the video's caption reads. This is how regular math looks. 0.5 plus 0.5 equals 1. So in Bikermatics, it should works as well, and it does. Allegedly, it does. I don't know what it's going to look like. I'm going to turn off the volume here, but I just want to see him riding it.
How fast can you go?
I don't know. Let's see. Well, I'm sure this footage is... That's pretty slow so far. Wait, that's a regular bike.
That's a regular bike. That's the one he's going to cut.
Okay, so this is the beginning. Here we go. Let's get to the chase where he's actually riding it. This is all kinds of what he did, which is amazing. It's very amazing. Is he going to ride the thing? Here we go. Let's get to the end here. Painting her up. Good to go. But mounting the bike tires. Look at that. Wow. Well, that... I think there you go. Now that looks like it'll work. Okay. Huh. All right. Ride it, please.
I'd like to ride my
look at that. Yeah.
I'd like to ride my bike.
There it is. There it is working, folks. It's a working design. Yeah, I was curious how it would do bumps and stuff, but okay, there you go. There's a split rear wheel bike. They should do the front wheel too then. Why not? Let's get her done. Why just one wheel? Let's do the other one. Make it a bunch of halves. Okay.
And have-nots.
Yeah, there you go, folks. That's apparently a real working bike for whatever it means. Whatever the purpose of such a thing is, it's been done now. You can say you've seen it. Move along.
Wow.
All right, the next one up on our newscast tonight comes from unexplained-mysteries.com, and this is from May 14th of 2012. So this has come from the archives. I got a couple of these. And this one's really bizarre. I don't know how this works, but apparently, according to unexplained-mysteries.com, woman on hunger strike for 12 years.
What's she doing with all that saved money?
I don't know. Iram Sharmila Chanu has refused to eat or drink anything whatsoever since the year 2000. And this is from 2012. So Chanu is known as the Iron Lady of Manipur, went on a hunger strike to protest the gunning down of 10 civilians on a bus stop by military soldiers. My fast is on behalf of the people of Manipur, she said. This is not a personal battle. It is symbolic. It's a symbol of truth, love, and peace. Far from being the short-term protest, however, Chanu's fast has lasted over a decade, with doctors force-feeding her through nasal drips for most of that time. An ordinary Indian woman has been on hunger strike for the last 12 years in an effort to have the government of India withdraw the Armed Forces Special Powers Act of 1958 from Manipur and other parts of India. So it's not like she's just getting by on sheer willpower. Right. She's got an actual drip.
Yeah, the doctors are...
Yeah, they are nourishing her artificially. Yeah, so it sounded more striking.
Yeah.
On the surface, but basically she's on a hunger strike and they're feeding her. So it's not quite the same takeaway. Although you got to give the woman credit. It's got to take some pretty intense willpower not to ever taste food again.
Yeah, you give up the barbecue.
Yeah, could you believe that?
Not likely.
Never give up the meats. What is this?
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just a message from
goodness,
the YouTubes. What was that?
It was the arm of the chair.
Oh, don't break nothing. Yeah. All right, here we go again. The next and the last story on our list tonight, folks.
To wrap up the news tonight,
this is about as jaded a lover as you'll ever want to find, and it's awful creepy on top of that. And this is also from the archives, coming from 2012, May 1st, 2012, my birthday of all things. But this is a present I wouldn't want. Dentist plucks out her boyfriend's teeth.
What? Okay.
Yeah, one dentist was so angry with her ex-boyfriend after being dumped that she surgically removed his teeth. Oh, dear God.
How did she must have roofed him
Well,
or something.
I'm sure. Anna Mikowiak may be facing a prison sentence after sedating her ex-boyfriend, Marek Olzowski,
With a name like that, he deserved it.
in the dentist chair and extracting all of his teeth. He had turned up after dumping her to have his toothache treated, but really that was his first mistake.
Yeah.
But Mikowiak had other ideas. After giving him a heavy dose of anesthetic, she proceeded to remove his teeth one by one and then wrapped his jaws in a bandage, telling him there had been complications that he needed to see a specialist.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like someone who makes dentures,
Marek wasn't amused.
you think?
I knew something was wrong because when I woke up, I couldn't feel any teeth, and my jaw was strapped up with bandages, he said. Not only will he have to fork out for the implants, but Marek has also suffered the indignity of having his new girlfriend leave him on the basis that he didn't have any teeth. Wow. Yeah, that's... I don't know. I mean, I understand being brokenhearted and all, but really, would you throw your life way over that?
That's just kind of stupid.
That's a whole bucket of stupid right there. That's so much stupid going on in one story. I don't know.
It would have been better had she just started drilling on the teeth and said, "Oops, I forgot the anesthesia."
Yeah. Hey, yeah. Sorry for the extra 5 holes.
Yeah, exactly.
I can fill those too.
I can fill those. That'll be fine. No,
Yeah.
I pulled all 32 of them chompers.
Oh God, what a miserable thing that would be. Enjoy your soup, sir.
Yes. Can I have a straw, please?
That's just horrible. Wow. Yeah. That's
Rachel says that story is a real nail gummer.
Oh, I'll give you the rim shot, Rachel. You got it. You got it. Well, there you go, folks. This has been a presentation of the Paranormal Portal News.
And the never-ending stories.
You got to do stories because news stories. Anyway, let's get back to the rest of the show.
Stories. Yeah, there you go. That works. Teeth.
Wow. How about that, Don?
Yeah, how about that?
You got to love pudding. A whole bunch.
Pudding? Yes, oh yeah. Well, that and
No
Jello.
teeth.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yep.
Hi, Taz. Haven't seen you in a while. Nice to see you.
Taz, hi. How you doing?
Yeah,
Welcome.
absolutely.
Welcome back, I should say. And welcome to all of you as well. Thank you for being here for the Paranormal Portal. Hope you enjoyed the news.
Oh, no.
What?
High Tide said she got to the root of the relationship.
Oh, it's a punny night here on the portal.
That's just punny.
Yeah, it is. All right, I got the chat open now, so I can see it as well. Good.
Sweet.
Did I miss anything else? No. Looks like. Actually, that reminds me though. So, suffering thuckatash. We do have something that I want to. Did I?
Oh, you got something?
I thought I did. No, I don't.
What?
What the Sam Hill is going on
Sam
here?
Hill?
All right, let me get this up because it's something I wanted to cover a week ago, but I kind of forgot. And now I'm going to get to it now as soon as I find the link that you sent me, Don. No. Nope. Come on. Oh, that's the one.
Yeah, don't play that.
No, of course
Gosh,
not.
we'll lose all of our audience.
No, I wouldn't do that one. I was looking for Taco's video.
Taco's video, yeah.
Here we go. Yep, this
there
is
it
it.
is.
Let me open this, and then I'll do this, and I'll do that, and then I'll do this, and I'll put the link over here.
Sweet.
We're gonna get to a video that was sent to us by our very own Taco Violator, and I've meant to get to this many times, but I'm not often as good on the follow through as I mean to be. But let's see. I'm going to blow this up. Going to put it up on screen. This is by our very
You've got
own.
a lot of steps going on tonight.
I have so many steps. This gives you an idea of what goes on behind the scenes, folks. here on the Paranormal Portal. But this is a video sent to us by Taco of a strange anomalous light that he saw outside of his house, I guess. And there's apparently a plane that comes by for comparison. And since he's in the chat, isn't he?
Yeah, he was here, yeah.
He's here, so let's check it out now. This is something he sent in, and this, again, is the light in the middle of the screen, and we'll take a look at it. And there you go. And it does, if his camera is steady, it's, oh, now he wiggled the camera there. But it does appear to be moving of its own accord, too. There's, whoa, oh, that was him moving it. Okay, here comes a plane. I was like, oh my God, it just shot away. So there's the light again, right at the tip of my mouse. And, okay, once his camera's still. Okay, so here's the plane for a comparison. This is what a plane would look like. And this is actually moving, isn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does look like it's losing altitude.
Yeah, it's like it's coming down, or at least moving across the horizon at the very least. So there is a bit of movement to that. Now he's zooming in. See what we can see here. That's the tough part with like phone cams or whatever. They zoom in, but it's not a true optical zoom. So, oh, there it goes, fading out, and it's gone. Look at that, actually faded out there. I'm gonna go back a few steps here, and we'll watch that part again. Yeah, that's not what they should be doing, Taco. That's, if it was a star, that shouldn't be happening. If it was a satellite, that shouldn't be happening. So it does have a bit of motion to it. He keeps readjusting. But there, it's starting to fade. And boom, it's gone. Very cool, dude. I think you caught something. I think you caught something pretty cool. Let's cancel that. We'll go back to here. So that was a great video. Thank you, Taco, for sending that in, brother. I appreciate it. That's really creepy. That is really wild.
Yeah, Taco, it's hard to hold a TV or a TV. Yeah, it's what can't hold a TV that steady. A phone, yes,
Yeah.
without some bracing or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that is.
yeah, that's cool though.
It's very cool, and thank you so much for sending that in. There's actually another video I wanted to get to, and this was sent, if I can find it, by our very own Elaine. And this is another one that I meant to show last week, if I can find it. If I can find it. Dang it. Is it back on the page? I don't know. Let's see. I'm looking. Here we go. Doorbell cam.
Doorbell cam.
Yep. Let's see what I can do here. Oh, this is actually, it's an actual file, huh? Okay, let's see if I can open this up. I may have to download it. Okay, let me download it. And we'll see if it, oh, it's very small. Okay. Okay. Showing folder. I'm getting it, Elaine. Is Elaine in here?
You know, I don't know.
Okay, I don't know if I've seen her yet or not. But I'm, did I copy that or cut it? There we go.
Yep, she's here.
Okay, good. She's here, so let's get this up on the screen here. Let me put it in a folder quick. Call it Elaine. Okay, so this was just sent by our very own Elaine as she's sending stuff, and let me put it up on screen. Sorry, I meant to be better prepared, but this is a live show, and this is what you get. This is what you get, folks. If it ever opens, here it comes. All right. All right, let's pause this. Okay. So this is from our very own Elaine, and I'm not sure what we're looking at here. They didn't come with much description, but let's have a look at this one. And play. Oh, that's a big moth. What is that? Why does it look sparkly? Did that get cracked in lead? I mean, that's there's a weird shadow thing happening over here. But that could be just a moth by the light, yeah? Yeah, I see this too. It's not, I'm not sure what we're looking at. This is a replay again.
Oh, that's what she's talking about, yeah.
This part up
yeah,
here.
she figured out it was if you go frame by frame, it looks like a moth to her. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what we think it is. Yeah.
Yep. It looks like a moth. Yep. But I will tell you that I have gotten videos sent that seem to show what looks like a moth, but it looks like something else. And I'll see if I can dig that up quick, if it's possible. But it's very interesting.
Who sent us the one that was in their parents'
garage?
Yeah,
that's the one I'm going to look for.
That's the one you're looking for. Yep. Okay. See, yeah, there you go.
See if I can find it. Is it? Nope, that's the anomaly that I found when we were at Coloma. But is this it? No, I don't think so. That's all JPEGs. Okay. I don't know. I guess I can't. I don't know where it is for sure.
That sucks.
It's my filing system is always in error. I have good intentions of filing things well, but but then the truth happens, and it turns out I have a bad filing system. All right. Well, I can't dig it up right now. I'll try to find it for a future film or a future show. But there's some pretty cool things that you guys have sent in, and thank you for that. If you have any anomalous videos of your own that you'd want us to feature on the show, by all means, send them in. But cool catch, Taco, and thank you, Elaine, for sending that in. I think that's pretty cool. That kind of stuff there's a lot of strangeness, but I think the one good thing is that the more cameras that are out there,
right,
the more of the strangeness is going to be captured. And not all of it is paranormal, but it's all really fun to look at.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be paranormal for me to show it on the show. Even if there's a mundane explanation for it, it's still kind of neat to look at it and to break it down.
Yeah, because there's always the question, what if?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Always.
We always got questions, especially Don and I.
Ugh.
We're full of questions.
I'm so full of questions.
Who am I? What am I doing here?
You could call me the Riddler.
You could, but you wouldn't want to do that out loud.
Yeah, I just. That's not a moth. That's a bat. Yeah. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. Let me. I'm trying to figure out what we're going to get into here next. I'm going to start with the article from Brent Swanser. I think is a good place to start here now. And Brent Swanser has been a longtime friend of the show. He's a really fantastic guy and a very extraordinary, talented, what I call a paranormal journalist. He's really great at digging up paranormal events and really finding out a hell of a lot of background information on things, very subtle things that even when I've looked into the very same things, he finds like 5 or 10 times the amount of information that I can ever find. But he is a writer over at mysteriousuniverse.org, and he also has a wonderful group on Facebook, and that is called Dark League Paranormal.
Dark League Paranormal.
It's a really fun group with a lot of great people involved, and they have all these activities all through the week. It's really cool.
Yeah.
So, well, let's get to this article, and this is a strange one. It's kind of a cryptid story, but it's, again, from mysteriousuniverse.org. Go check out the site. It's a wonderful site. Lots of amazing stories over there, and plus the Mysterious Universe is a podcast of its own, apparently a very exceptional podcast. But this is the strange tale of the fishman of Lyrganus. And that's if I'm pronouncing this anywhere near correctly. Again, written by Brent Swanser, July 13th. So it's brand new. But the Fishman of Lyrganus, this is one I've never heard of ever. And that's why I like this man's work so much, is that he finds these really obscure stories and stuff and accounts of people seeing and encountering things that I've never imagined. Located in the autonomous community of Cantabria, Spain, the municipality of Lyrganus is a charming little hamlet of around 3,000 inhabitants that sits at the foot of two small hills, Marimon and Cotillaman, popularly known as the Breasts of Lyrganus.
Sweet!
Dope. Known for its quiet cobbled streets and classicist architecture from the 17th and 18th centuries, including historical houses, buildings, chapels, and churches, as well as for its quaint bridges. The village was declared to be a national historic artistic interest in 1978 and is a beautiful little out-of-the-way place full of history and is set amongst stately woodland. It is also rather famous for its strange tale of a time a bizarre amphibious fishman came to visit.
The breasts.
The fishman wanted to see the breasts of their
Of that place.
of Lyrganus.
Lyrganus.
In around 1720, the Enlightenment writer Benito, wow, you're right. There's some real deep ones down here, isn't there? Geronimo Faipo came forward with an incredible tale to tell. According to him, it began in 1650 with a man named Francisco de la Vega, who lived a quiet, humble life in Lyrganus, with his wife Maria del Cesar, or Casar, I don't know how to say that, and their 4 children. Francisco would one day tragically die to leave his wife to care for their children alone, and she managed to send one of their sons, also called Francisco, to the town of Bilboa to work as a carpenter to help earn money.
Okay.
It was at Bilboa that on that eve at St. John's Day in 1674, Francisco supposedly went to the Miera River in the Bilboa estuary to have a relaxing day out swimming with his friends. At one point, Francisco swam down the river and out of sight, and since he was considered to be a good swimmer, his friends didn't think much of it at the time. However, when he never returned and could not be found, they feared that he had drowned.
Bum, bum, bum.
Francisco would disappear without a trace that day, and when the years went by, with no word from him and no sign of him, it was assumed that he had been swept out to sea and died. From here, the story gets rather weird. 5 years later, in 1679, some fishermen in the bay of Cadiz, Spain, were pulling in their nets when they noticed a bizarre creature thrashing about and entangled within one of them. It was described as being half human and half amphibian, with some sort of very human face and thin red hair, a pale body that was obviously male and mostly human in form, but with gills, strips of scales along his body, and webbed hands. On this occasion, the creature was able to rip itself free of the nets, but he would be seen lurking around in the area, swimming about under the waves and occasionally stealing fish from the nets. The local fishermen went about luring him in with loaves of bread, which he seemed to show great interest in, and were able to finally capture him and take him aboard one of their vessels. Once aboard, the frightened creature cowered in a corner, and all attempts to communicate with him failed. Not knowing what to do with him, the fishermen apparently brought him to the nearby convent of St. Francis, where the monks interrogated him in several languages without success, and had him exorcised for good measure. At some point, the creature was able to utter a single word, Lyrganus, which none of those present had ever heard of before, as the people of the area excitedly talked about this strange new development. Some of the monks were able to figure out that the one word the creature would say was actually a village, and so it was thought that the strange fishman might actually be from there. The story as told by the Lyrganus town hall says what happened next. This news was sent to Lyrganus to ask if something strange had happened in recent years there, and from Lyrganus they responded that only the disappearance of Francisco de la Vega had registered 5 years ago. Then Juan Rosendo, a friar from the convent, accompanied Francisco on a return trip from Cadiz to Lyrganus to see if it was true that he was from there, and incredibly, Francisco knew his way directly to Lyrganus, and once there, went without hesitation to the house of Maria de Cesar, who instantly recognized him as her son, Francisco, as did his brothers who were in the house.
That word is convent.
What? Convent? Where?
Convent.
Where is it? What?
Sorry, you've said it twice now. The friar from the convent.
From the convent. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know what I said before, but it's convent. All right, just as a correction. Once there, he tried to adjust to a normal life, but had some struggles. He would only walk around nude and barefoot, would not seem to speak except for certain words like tobacco, bread, and or wine, without relating them to his actual needs, and could go for a week without eating. He also spent most of his time swimming in the river, proving to be much faster than any human being, and was able to breathe underwater, seemingly indefinitely, with his gills. He was apparently helpful and rather docile, but never showed any enthusiasm for anything, perhaps yearning for the sea that he had left behind. One day it seemed as if the lure of the ocean would become irresistible, and so, after 9 years of living with his family, he once again swam out into the river towards the sea to vanish. Fayu would claim that the story as he presented it had been gleaned from testimonies and documents on the case that had survived, as well as from interviews with those he claimed had actually been there at the time, including noblemen, knights, and other witnesses he was convinced were educated and trustworthy. In the end, Fayu endorsed the story as true and authentic case, which is interesting considering he was well known as a skeptical writer who routinely criticized superstition and frauds, and was not one to pull off practical jokes or hoaxes. Yet he was entirely convinced that the fishman had indeed been to Lyrganus, and even coming up with scientific arguments and rationale to back it all up. It definitely seems as though Fayu had at least really believed the story to be true, and perhaps there could have been some grain of truth to it. The 20th century Spanish scholar and physician Gregorio Maronian had believed that this may have all actually happened, but that there was a rational explanation for it. In his opinion, Francisco could have very well been a real individual suffering from a condition called cretinism. Cretinism, Don, haven't you heard of that?
No.
Yeah, it's like a rash. It's really weird. Or congenital iodine deficiency syndrome, which was very common to the area at the time, and it's caused by insufficient dietary iodine during pregnancy and can cause deterioration to both physical and mental development. Some of the many physical symptoms of the condition that affect appearance include goiter, poor length growth in infants, reduced adult stature, thickened skin, hair loss, enlarged tongue, and protruding abdomen. Maybe I got that. Deformities such as lumps in the chest and the back area, and pale, scaly skin. It also causes profound mental deterioration over time. According to Maranian, Francisco could have had this condition and somehow wandered off to the sea, where he had met those not familiar with it and had mistaken him for a fishman. After that, he might have been taken home, and his mental degradation would account for his odd behavior, finally ending up with him running off again. And it doesn't do much to explain the swimming or breathing underwater, but it is the closest anyone has come to a scientific explanation for it. To this day, there is a plaque situated along the Miura River dedicated to the legend, and we are left to wonder if this is just an urban legend, or is there some truth to it? We may never know. That's interesting. The fish man.
Yeah, that is interesting. But a deficiency of iodine?
I don't think those scientific explanations have a lot of merit. But what's interesting is that we cover transformative stories on this show all the time in the form of skinwalkers and possibly what is it? The witch women. What is it? La Lorna. Yeah, that turns into an owl-like woman as well. So, I mean, it's not unprecedented in the paranormal to possibly have some form of transformative possibility. I don't know. I mean, it seems really odd to even entertain such a thing. But when you think about it, we cover a lot of other stories that deal with this very thing, where people are becoming something else. And I've actually talked with a person who witnessed a diminutive figure turn into what was like a badger or a mongoose or something. It was very unusual, and he swears. He swears that this is what he saw. This is years and years ago.
Oh, okay, years and years
yeah,
ago. Okay.
But he was a Bigfoot researcher, and he was up on a logging road up in Canada, and he was kind of camped out in the bed of his truck, and he saw this little man walking across the logging road behind where he was just sitting up at night as he was trying to drift off to sleep. And he said as he watched, the little man became aware of him, and so he jumped out of his truck and ran over there with the flashlight.
Right.
He saw it jump under a tree, under like a pine tree.
Right.
And when he got up there, he shone the light on it, and under that, the only thing under there was a badger.
Wow.
Yeah, like as if this little man was walking bipedally and boom, became a badger. So maybe there is merit to that somehow. I know it's really hard to wrap your head around. It's like,
It is.
really? People becoming something else because it's the fairy tales.
Well, yeah. Well, we talk about werewolves and werebears and people who think they're human, but they're actually like creeps in disguise. Creepers in disguise.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah.
I mean, we don't talk a lot about werewolves though, but we do talk about skinwalkers.
We do, yeah.
Yeah, and that's a transformative process as well. So.
Yep, just general shape shifting, sure.
Yep. So is this a situation where somebody was inadvertently shifting shape? Like, is it some genetic possibility that exists in some people latent? Or is it something that can be learned? Hell, I don't know. It's very, very strange, though, and I don't pretend to know. So, but I have lots of ideas. So next we're going to move to a series of articles from Phantoms and Monsters. There's the one that I'm going to cover first deals with what apparently it says U.S. Air Force attacks spraying UFOs over Afghanistan, video / captures. Now, the reason I wanted to dive into this is, it's a fantastic story. And what if they are spraying stuff? Is it benevolent or is it malevolent? What is it?
Talk about transformations.
Well, I mean, so
maybe that's what they did when they first populated the planet.
Maybe
sprayed it and created gene therapies that you could spread through.
Maybe, maybe there is. Maybe that's part of it. I don't know. But maybe they're trying to offset some of the damage we've done to the environment. Who knows? Or maybe they're geoforming the planet, or what is it called? Terraforming. Thank you. To better suit them. Maybe. I don't pretend to know, but. It is interesting. Now, the interesting thing is that there's apparently some images that are included with this article that I was like, wait, I've seen something like this before. And so I did a little research, and sure enough, I found a video that we'll be dealing with as well that deals with the Chilean military that has a video of a strange aircraft spraying stuff into the sky that the military couldn't identify and had no radar signature at all, but it's on infrared. So we'll get into that second. So there's an article, and then there's the video of the similar story from the Chilean military. But this one is, again, from Phantoms and Monsters, and that's our friend Lon Strickler's site. A great site full of research, full of people's encounters, and also home to Lon and his published works, as well as the podcast, Phantoms and Monsters podcast. So can check it out. Go to phantomsandmonsters.com and learn more. But this is the article, U.S. Air Force attacks spraying UFOs over Afghanistan, video / captures. So we're going to look into this now. It says Leon Howarth, who runs paranormal YouTube channel Do It Noel's Way, claims that on June 22nd, 2021, he received an email regarding a very strange piece of undated footage supposedly recorded in Afghanistan. Any ex-military or serving military personnel out there know what this is? ? The person that sent it to me said it is UFOs being attacked by the United States Air Force. In the footage, which is black and white, a security camera pans around the desert, eventually picks up 4 strange dark dots on the horizon. It zooms in on the objects, and they appear to be 4 black orbs just sitting stationary. A closer zoom in reveals that the objects appear to be spraying some type of material down onto the desert below. And I guess these are the images. I don't know if this is something that it can open in and of themselves or what. I guess so, yeah, but I can't really zoom into them. So these are the images in question from this video. Okay, so let's get back to the article. And it says, please note that the witnesses in the infamous Mojave UFO case also describe seeing the objects releasing some type of material into the desert. There have been similar observations as well. Within seconds of zooming in, something can be seen moving from right to left. It impacts two of the objects, which appear to explode. When the haze lifts, it is revealed that the UFO are completely undamaged and still doing whatever it was doing initially. I don't see the actual video, but I guess we could, there's a link here that maybe we could look at. But I thought this is interesting because these images, I don't want to stomp on somebody's material that they've been, presented and given. But it is interesting that it shows, this series of images, but it's really blown out, isn't it?
Is that a podcast or a YouTube?
Apparently it's a YouTube channel. Let me see if I right click on this. What is it? Yeah, here is the YouTube channel right here. So the YouTube channel is called Do It Noel's Way, and he's got 2,000 subscribers. So definitely check it out for yourselves. But here is the video in question. And I thought this was interesting because how many reports do we see of, not very many, but there are a few. There's the actual video of the objects itself in the horizon there. And they are. They almost sitting there like targeted balloons though, aren't they? I mean, they're not even, what the hell just happened? It was like they changed shape there or something. I'll put a link to this in the description, folks, and you can check this out for yourselves. It is really, really interesting. It does seem to be dropping stuff onto the ground. Okay, so this is a bit different because the other video that I pulled up that we're going to go over in a second shows like a moving object which is spraying stuff out from behind it. But what could it be dropping onto the sand? That's very unusual. So the video continues here. Very interesting. Very interesting. There comes. Yeah, it really does look like.
Yeah.
But look, they didn't get damaged at all. I mean, they're right there still doing what they were doing. How does that work? Something came in and struck two of the targets, two of the objects.
No, this is called, the video is called UFOs Attacked in Afghanistan.
Question mark.
Description. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But it doesn't seem to have impacted them at all. Even though it looks like they were blown,
Right.
I mean, there comes boom, boom, and hits two of them. Now, I don't know. It's the other takeaway is, could it be real? Could it be fake? Sure, it could be faked. This is pretty low quality, so it wouldn't be hard to fake. But that's very interesting.
Yeah.
It does look like a missile, though. I mean, it looks like a missile came through. Let's just pause this. There is the object right there flying into frame, and it's just going to proceed through these two, but we can go frame by frame here and just watch what happens. Boom, hits the first one, continues through, and so it's not a missile in the traditional sense, though, because it didn't blow, it didn't explode,
it's more like a projectile or some kind of armored something.
Right. But that one didn't even really seem to hit it, did it?
That didn't hit it, yeah.
Right? So there it is. Go back one more step. Go forward.
Because it changed, so it's like it went from this to this.
It's like the missile thing is actually releasing its own stuff.
Right.
Which looks like the blob of debris, because it never actually hit that second one, did it?
Nope.
It's hard to miss in real time, but it's easy to see frame to frame. And it looks like it's releasing its own stuff. Maybe that interacts with this weird clouds of whatever, these dripping things that they were releasing. I don't know. It's very weird, but then it's...
And I want to know how old this is, too.
When was we're not even in Afghanistan anymore, right?
Yeah, no.
Said it was sent to him by email 22nd of June 21.
Yeah, but this looks old.
Ex-military.
This looks old.
Well, I mean, it doesn't look like state-of-the-art footage. You're right, because the newer generation of stuff is much more impressive.
Yes.
But I think it's interesting because whatever flew through, I don't believe was a missile in the traditional sense, because it didn't blow. It's just like it was meant to rupture something or was releasing something of its own, which also dropped down to the ground below it. Now, the other thing that I found, which I thought was very interesting, is this video from Fox News, and we'll go through this one now. This is from Fox News YouTube channel, and we'll check it out. I'm going to take care of the sound, get that gone, but the Chilean Navy released 2014 video of a mysterious flying object.
Gee, this has any coordination with the TikTok videos? 2014?
Right, it seems like it was a busy time of year,
maybe.
right? Or a busy period of time. So this is them, and essentially they were in a helicopter, and they noticed this object. They go to IR view, which is going to make things dark. The hot stuff is dark, the white stuff is cold, and you can see this object moving. And apparently, it was matching the speed of the helicopter, and they apparently tried to communicate, as it said. They didn't detect it on radar at all, but there it was, and soon you'll see it start spewing something behind the craft. There it goes, right there, and it's almost like it's putting stuff into the atmosphere, and you can see it starts out as a thin stream, and then it gets a little wider.
Wow!
But it disappeared into the clouds after that. Was it a UFO? Well, yeah, it definitely was, because it's unidentified.
Yep.
Confirmed that the three-dimensional object was real. So very interesting. No evidence of hoaxing or alteration of the video. So this one I like a little better, because it gives you some information here. You can tell that there's something to go with it, not just a screen of something happening. For classification unidentified aerial phenomena. But anyway, interesting enough, another situation of these craft spewing something into our atmosphere. Now, I really do. I know the honey badgers; those things are nasty. They are pretty wild. But I do think the interesting thing is that I think the UFOs and these visitors, wherever they come from, I think they're benevolent. I really do. I don't know. Maybe there is malevolent ones, as are suggested, but if there are, then I think there's more than one.
So you don't think that these supposed aliens are going to come down and suck our brains out like
no, because if they're surviving on brain matter, they're going to go hungry here. At least in this studio.
In this studio, yes. Yep.
Now, I can't speak for the population at large, but
there's a lot of we'd be last in that list of.
Absolutely. But I think it's interesting. There's two videos representing these unidentified objects spewing something
crazy.
I think maybe they're trying to help. Maybe they're trying to offsuit. Maybe some of that what is that conspiracy theory of things being sprayed? Chemtrails. I guess that's what it's called. Yeah. So chemtrails are these
geoengineering.
Right. It's allegedly to counter global warming, because it's supposed to reflect some of the solar heat back into space.
Yeah, that's one story.
Yeah, exactly. But
that's the Bill Gates story.
Yeah, and I don't know what to believe with that stuff, but I'm here to tell you that I remember being young and seeing contrails that disappeared. Like I used to lay out, and as I'm looking at the sky, I watched the planes go by, and then watched when how long their trail lasted until it eventually disappeared.
Right.
The whole new phenomena of these contrails that last and turn into clouds is a little new to me.
Yeah.
I'm not a conspiracy person. I don't know what to think about this stuff, because quite honestly, I don't pretend to be smart enough to know. But I think it's interesting.
But water vapor doesn't just it doesn't just not go away. It evaporates pretty quickly.
Generally, I mean,
or it turns into snow, one or the other.
Right. It turns into precipitation of some kind. But the fact that whatever is going on, where they're spraying stuff, and I've heard what people say is in there, like all these exotic metals and stuff, and maybe this is their way of countering that. I don't know. I have no idea, but I'd like to believe that if they're smart enough to get here, they're not trying to become our overlords, because they could have done that. For generations.
Maybe they did. Maybe they just did it politically.
Yeah, maybe they just hid themselves.
Yeah.
And they are our overlords, and that's why things are so skewed right now. But that's always a possibility. But I think that they're here to help. I really do. I just believe that if they're that advanced, they wouldn't have to they wouldn't have to sit in our shadows and, bide their time. They could just say, hey, we're here, and there's nothing you can do about it.
That's right. Yeah.
We're your new masters. Deal with it. The end. So I don't know. I just thought that was an interesting series of videos, and I think it's worth visiting a little bit, because what are they spraying? What are they doing? Why are they doing it?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what's the curiosity. Are they really screwing things up, or are they helping? I don't know. I'd like to believe they are, but I'm not naive enough to know, or to believe that I know. I don't know. And I don't know that anybody does. I've heard every version of what are these aliens doing here. I've heard every version that there is to hear. But ultimately it gets down to nobody knows.
Yep.
And it's the same as the ghosts and the Bigfoots, and nobody knows. We believe they're here. Well, there seems to be ample evidence that they are, but what are they? We don't know. Same with these UFOs. We don't know what they're doing. We don't know why they're here. They don't seem to feel the necessity to let us know, at least, except for these special groups of people, that seem to claim to have amazing contact and dialogue with these things, but they haven't come and talked to me.
No.
So,
yep. They don't want to know anything from me either. What do you know? Not a damn thing.
oh, come on, Don. You could show them how to do a rack of ribs.
Well,
Nice dry rub.
yeah, do they taste good with dry rub though?
Yours did. The ones you...
Alien ribs?
Oh, I don't know about it. Oh, no, not grilling aliens, you sick bastard. I don't mean cooking them, Don. I mean teaching.
Well, somebody's got to be the prey. Somebody's got to be a predator.
Oh, dear God. Yeah. Yeah, you're going to have a whole rack of skulls on your wall. Yeah. Well, I thought that was interesting. I hope you guys enjoyed that little dive into the weird UFO phenomenon that's going on, and what are they spraying? What are they doing?
Yeah,
Any of you have more information about that, please let me know. Let me know via email, paranormalportalradio@gmail.com. Yep. I'd really like to know what people believe they're doing. I don't pretend to know, but I don't mind listening to people's theories. So if you have a theory about what's going on with this stuff, let me know. I'd love to hear. I don't know what to make of it. I like to believe that they're benevolent and they're trying to help out. Do I know that? No, but I know I've seen a UFO a couple times, and I know that they didn't hurt me. They didn't go out of their way to cause me any harm.
Right.
And I feel really fortunate to have witnessed that. And so, I mean, if they wanted to hurt me, they could have. They didn't. They never hoovered me up and ran weird experiments on me or anything.
I saw this little cartoon on Facebook. It's this little UFO, little saucer, and it's got its little tractor beam, and it's on a little person or something, and then it the next one it's coming up, and then the next one's coming up, and then the next one it like hits the ground. It says 10-second rule, and he zaps it back up. I was like, oh,
so yeah, if the person drops, you got 10 seconds.
5 seconds. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's a pretty long rule.
It is, yeah.
The aliens have a lot longer rule.
I don't like wasting food. Oh, sorry. Was that me?
Oh, there you go. So that was interesting few articles. I thought you guys might dig that. We're going to go into some more Phantoms and Monsters articles right now. God, it's already 18 minutes after 8, Don.
Is it? Wow.
What the hell? Time flies when you're in the portal, folks. But let's get to the next one from phantomsandmonsters.com. Again, special thanks to Lon Strickler. Surprising bat-winged humanoid observed suckling young. That's a tender moment, I guess. Bat-winged humanoid observed holding and suckling their young. An Oklahoma woman recounts her encounter with a bat-winged humanoid when she was a girl. The entity was carrying a smaller being, possibly nursing it. Remarkable incident. Yeah, that's one in a million there, that's for sure. Never heard of another report like that. This happened. I'm 62 years old now, and I can remember every detail of that day.
Wow.
I can't tell you what happened the day before or actually the day after, but that day I can tell you. I went on a vacation at school. We went on a little field trip that day. It was the week of the 4th of July in the late 1960s. We were going to be going to my grandparents in Odessa, Texas. And I lived in Enid, Oklahoma, and we lived at 501 West Market Street. I was coming down State Street, and I was meeting with two friends. One's named Mike, and the other's name is Sue. We were walking down State Street, and Sue went to the left because she lived on the left block. Mike, he went straight because he lived on the block down from State Street. And I went to the right because I lived on the corner of Jefferson and Owenkeg area on Market Street and the alley. I went across the alley and I saw something out of the corner of my eye. Now, it was still light out, about 4:30, and in the summertime, it's still light. I looked, and it was like something, it squatted down. And at first, I thought it had a blanket over it, and I couldn't figure it out. The sighting lasted on a few seconds, and I looked, and its eyes were black. And it wasn't covered by a blanket, it was wings. I don't know how tall I was then. I mean, I'm only 5'4" now, but I don't know how tall I was at that age. And I'm going to say it was about the same height as me, squatting down with the wings around itself. When I looked at it, the wings went to the back and it started to stand up. Now, I never saw its legs. So if you can imagine seeing something rise, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. I never looked down. As it was rising, I'm seeing its arms, and the bat-like wings are now in the back. So it had distinctive, different from its wings to its arms. That's pretty unique. It's white and black in its face, and I don't know about this. Its nose reminded me of Michael Jackson after surgery. The first time I saw Michael Jackson's nose, and I thought of this thing. And I mean, I had a hard time looking at Michael Jackson after that, and this is not a put down of Michael Jackson either. I thought it was the devil. I truly thought it was the devil. It stood up, and it had a six-pack stomach, muscular. Its arms, it was holding something in the arc now. It was black in its arms, and it looked like it was suckling on a nipple. I swear to God, I know what I saw. I ran. I've never run so fast. My mother's little dog, it's a half wiener dog, dachshund, and half chihuahua, a dusty brown. I picked that dog up so fast, and I ran to the back porch. At that time, we had a screen on the porch. I remember locking the screen door as if that was supposed to stop something. Going into the back door, into the dining room, my mother just looked at me like, "What's wrong with you?" And I said, "The devil." I think now she must have thought I was crazy. My heart was beating so fast, so hard that I could hear it. My mother was a nurse. My dad was a medic in the Army for 28 years, and he thought maybe I had sunstroke or heat stroke. They do believe that I did see something. They don't know what I saw.
It's a bar.
They said, "Are you sure it wasn't a dog?" Now, here's the thing. When it raised up, I didn't see any genitalia or anything like that. It didn't really have breasts. It had nipples, but it didn't really have breasts. I kept looking at what was in its arms, and when I looked up at its face, its eyes were red. And that's when I got a little freaked out, and I took off and ran across Mrs. Weber's yard. And I remember, you never went to Mrs. Weber's yard, but I didn't care. There you go. That's pretty wild. So that was the sources from the show, from a video titled 40 Phenomena, Cryptids, and Metaphysical Question and Answer with Lon Strickler. Yeah, that's pretty intense. That's very unusual, but I guess if they would have to have young, right? I mean,
there's got to be some way to propagate the species.
Yeah, exactly. These things aren't immortal.
Right.
So it only stands to reason they would have young, and I don't know. But just suckling it right in the broad daylight like that, I don't know. That's a pretty bold move. Maybe it didn't have a choice. Who knows? The next one is from Phantoms and Monsters as well. And this is from July 10th, 2022. Bigfoot encountered by man looking for directions at Houston's Buffalo Bayou. Buffalo Bayou.
I didn't know there was a bayou in Buffalo.
I didn't know there was Buffalo Bayou.
No.
Bayou. Thank you. In Houston, Texas, man relates a strange encounter that he had with a Bigfoot at Buffalo Bayou in 1979. This incident is probably one of the most unusual Bigfoot encounters that has ever been told to me. I received a very interesting telephone call yesterday from 68-year-old Houston, Texas man. RC says that he encountered a Bigfoot in Buffalo Bayou in 1979 Well, he was looking for driving directions. I've heard of a few interesting Bigfoot encounters at Buffalo Bayou previously, but this is by far the strangest. RC states that when he was at his girlfriend's place until 4 a.m. one morning. Apparently he didn't know the area that well, and since he had just moved to Houston, somehow he got lost and ended up in the Buffalo Bayou Park area. He pulled off the road, hoping that he could find someone to give him directions. He knew that he needed to get back into Allen Parkway in order to drive home. As he sat in his car, he noticed someone walking to his left. Nearer to the water, he got out of his car and called out to the individual. This person stopped and looked over their shoulders. As RC walked closer, he figured that this person was a transient, but he did realize, even though that there was very little available light, that this person was quite tall and big. RC got within 10 feet or so of the individual, who stood still and watched RC approach. RC then realized that something was not right. The hair on this person was very long and extended down to the chest, and that the rest of the body was completely covered in hair. RC immediately told this person, "Never mind," then quickly turned and ran to his car. Wow, so he was actually walking up to this thing, dude, to get directions.
Right. He said, "Never mind."
He said, "Never mind," and he noped out of there. RC got back into the car, hoping that this person had not followed or chased after him. He quickly glanced back and saw that this individual was still standing in the same spot, looking at him. RC started his car and drove off. As he was driving, he was trying to figure out what he had just encountered. At that time, he never thought much about Bigfoot, let alone seeing one in a city like Houston.
Right.
The next day, he called his brother, who told RC that he may have actually had a Bigfoot encounter. Apparently, his brother was aware of other sightings in the Buffalo Bayou area. Several years ago, I talked to another Houston man who had been gar fishing in Buffalo Bayou. It was late afternoon, and he was along the shore. As he sat there, he heard something approach him from behind. He looked and was stunned to see a 6-foot-tall, dark brown Bigfoot standing there about 30 feet from him.
Wow.
30 feet. 6 feet is, even if it's only 6 feet,
Right.
that's a Bigfoot, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
It could still meat pound you like nothing.
Jenny.
The man slowly stood up and faced the Bigfoot, and this was not the first time that he'd seen a similar creature in the bayou. The Bigfoot stood still but continued to look at him. After several seconds, the fisherman removed one of the gar on his stringer and placed it on the ground. He gathered up his gear and walked away. As he glanced back, he saw the Bigfoot pick up the fish and run downstream towards the trees. What a great story.
Yeah. Wow.
I guess if they're going to walk up to you, they must want something.
Right.
So I think, a fish is pretty easy sell. It's like,
And it's not anything that's not natural. Like, Big Brother Bear was talking about how people feed them cake.
Yeah.
And, how they react when they don't get their cake.
Yeah.
But this is something natural that I would imagine, naturally catch themselves.
Sure.
So it's an offering. It's not a gifting.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be a gifting, yeah, but it's not something that is out of their natural realm.
Right. So you don't have to worry about them having a weird food reaction.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Like we don't know though, and what Donna's referring to is Bear, when he was on the show, was talking about their diet. We don't know their diet. We assume their diet, but some people like to gift them things like peanut butter and chocolate and things like that, and we have no idea how that works for their bodies. We don't know if that could be lethal to them, or if they could perhaps have a food allergy to our highly processed foods.
Highly toxic food.
Well, really, look at the state of most Americans. Me included. This is the product of modern food. I am the product of modern food, ladies and gentlemen. I'm working on it, but I'm still, this stuff is not natural anymore. It's very not natural.
That's true.
So we don't really know how their physiology would handle that. We have no idea. We could be killing them, trying to make friends. Like, here, have some M&Ms.
Yeah.
Great. And then the other things are like, other problems, like let's say tooth decay.
And diabetes.
Diabetes is one that Bear talked about, yeah.
Yep.
But tooth decay alone, just think about that. They don't have dental. They can't just go get a cavity filled, and an abscess or something could kill them.
Yeah.
You know?
Not to mention an ex-girlfriend that just happens to be a dentist.
Yeah, they don't have any jaded exes that are going to yank their teeth. They don't have that. So,
Oh, no.
But the point being is you know, if people are going to get involved in gifting anything food-wise, it should be very natural, like Don suggested.
Popcorn.
Popcorn, maybe.
Well, popcorn's natural.
Maybe. I don't know.
Put like butter and salt.
You put cheese powder on it and stuff.
Then, yeah, it's not,
then it's good, but not for Squatch.
Makes it better.
It makes it nummy.
Not really.
I beg to differ, but
I'm not much of a popcorn guy.
Okay.
So.
Well, there you go.
I eat it when I go to the movies, just for something to do because I'm bored.
Me too.
At the movies.
It's scary how much popcorn I eat at movie theaters. It's like, God, I don't even like popcorn that much, but
you know, I really think that that movie theaters, I think somehow a dollar store or something, a Dollar Tree, always weasels their way near the movie theater.
Sure.
So they could sell their popcorn and their candy.
Right.
And so so they can make a mint off it
Just come by the dollar store quick.
Just give us a cut. We're charging $1. You're charging $5.
$15,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
for a bucket of popcorn or something stupid like that. Yeah, it's all about the experience, though. But yeah, if you're gonna gift foods, natural foods only.
Foods, yeah.
But I wouldn't encourage that either, because the other thing that Don brought up is that they don't like when the schedule is interrupted. They don't really understand that. So if you're going to create a dependency, you've got to, for the rest of your life, make sure that you're there keeping that dependency happening.
Because the people that live in your house after you,
they're not going to be happy.
Get it.
Yeah, there might be a real sale, a bargain offer on that house right after. But yeah, that's pretty true. And yeah, they wouldn't understand. All right, let's go to the next one from Phantoms and Monsters. This will be the last Phantoms and Monsters one for the night, and then we'll get into some other stuff. Other stuff. And we're going to hit... What the hell is going on? Hold on. I don't know why this taskbar is not disappearing, but it means something. I got to pull this up and see. Okay. Good. Okay. Now it should disappear nicely. There we go. All right, so this is from phantomsandmonsters.com again. Unknown upright cryptid encountered in Bucks County, Pennsylvania.
Oh.
Yeah, this is where our friend Eric Mintel is from.
Yeah.
Yep, in the Eric Mintel Quartet, and Eric Mintel Investigates. He's in Bucks County. So, and it's surprising the amount that's coming out of Bucks County of this weird stories. But a Bucks County, Pennsylvania witness describes his encounter with a 6-foot-tall upright cryptid near his home. The area is well known for canine cryptids from previously reported incidents.
Canine cryptids?
Yeah, like Dogman, apparently.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah.
Yep. Lon, back in 2020, I moved to Doylestown, Pennsylvania to be near my son and grandchildren. I found a small cabin-like apartment in Bucks County, and I live near farms and woods. I signed my lease on August 6th. On the evening of August 7th, 2020, my son and I came to the apartment to move some stuff in. We were both standing at the rear of his truck on the driveway when we both turned around, not because we heard something, but we just happened to do so. We noticed a black, odd-looking creature creeping at the end of the driveway. See, that's already scary.
Right.
It's creeping, Don.
Yep.
At the end of the driveway, trying to go past us in the direction of the farm across from my cabin. It quickly turned around and was gone fast. We both agreed that it didn't look like a dog or a coyote. We finished unloading that evening, and I was constantly asking him what he thought the creature was. He said he didn't know, but it was weird looking. I wrote it down because that's what I've always done. 7 months later, on March 1st, 2021, it was a cold and windy early morning, and I'd put the trash out hours before and was working on the computer. I heard a loud bang, and right away I knew it was my trash can, so I put my jacket and shoes on and grabbed my flashlight. It was a little after 3 a.m. in the morning. The reason I grabbed my flashlight is because it's very dark out front, and there's wildlife in the area because of the woods and farmland. And when walking on my driveway to the road. You can't see at all unless it's a full moon. As I got down to my trash can and started pulling the can up from the ground, I can hear a car horn blowing and the sound of someone slamming on the brakes. As I look towards the stop sign, I see this black figure in the lights of the car standing in the middle of the road. It drops to all fours and starts heading in my direction.
Wow.
I noticed the guy standing on the road. Within seconds, the creature had reached my driveway. It noticed my flashlight and stood up on its two legs, boxing its front paws and growling. What does that mean? Like, okay.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Okay. Like flailing its front paws. Okay.
Bring it on, brother.
Come on, I got you. Come on, I dare you. It sounded like a snore. It had yellow eyes and stood about 6 feet. It had black spiked hair and had drool dripping from its mouth.
Wow.
Suddenly, the car peeled wheels and made a left turn towards my driveway. The creature dropped to all fours and was gone in a blink. The car stopped in front of my driveway and the guy yelled out, "WTF was that?" He then proceeded down my road. I was walking backwards, shaking nervously, towards my front door. I got inside to find myself still upset, shaking my head. I stood at the door with the outside light on and waited for the car to return. After a few minutes, the car blew by my driveway and proceeded the original way he was heading when he encountered the creature. The creature looked like something on steroids from a horror movie. I know what I saw, Lon. I don't drink or do drugs. I take care of my wife who has suffered a massive heart attack and has dementia. I haven't seen this creature since then. When I sit outside at night now, I'm packed with 2 guns. I researched this and found nothing, but I continue looking in case something pops up. I hope I never see this creature again. I still think about when I go outside at night to sit and relax. If you have any stories like mine, I'm interested in knowing about it. You may find this sounding crazy, but my background is that I worked for the police and fire department in Baltimore County, Sparrows Point Police, high-tech security, private bodyguard, bank security, Baltimore Blast soccer security, and Pinkerton security. Wow. I used to work for Pinkerton. Yeah, they're not. That's not really a big resume builder, in my opinion.
Not anymore.
Yeah, no. But very interesting. Yeah, big.
Wow.
6 foot though. That's not huge, but
it's not huge, but
he
that's
did
still
say
scary though.
he said it looked like it was on steroids though.
Yeah.
So that's. I mean, if you get a big muscle guy coming at you, that's scary all by itself.
Right.
But if it has claws and a wolf's head or something, yeah, that's a whole different kind of terror. That's terrible.
Oh boy.
What do you think of that, Don?
I think it was cheesy. I think it's, these stories just kill me because, I've never had the experience that I'm aware of, and especially in a big city like that.
Sure.
So.
I mean, I think about this a lot, and I agree. I mean, the thing is that wherever I'm going, I'm always kind of glancing around, looking,
right.
just on the off chance.
Right.
Especially like today, I drove over to a town called Priest River.
Right.
And as I was driving, I was, you drive through these beautiful mountain and lake area and river area and stuff. And I'm always watching because, those are the times like, hey, I was driving along broad daylight and boom, there it was. So I'm always looking. But, it's just a 1 in a million thing, I guess.
Right.
I don't know how many of these things there are, but the one common denominator seems like most of the people that experience them are not real happy about it.
Right.
Like it's never a real positive thing for a lot of people. Like, oh my God, I saw this and now I'm afraid to go outside. I don't even want to live here, et cetera, et cetera. But they are really curious stories, I don't know. Should he be afraid, do you think?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because one minute, the dog could be just licking your hand, and the next it could be chewing your arm off. I mean, honestly, a cat. It just takes one wrong. Oops, I went the wrong way petting him, and it just attacks the crap out of you. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough, but I tend to believe these things are. I don't know if are they as smart as us? Well, maybe not. like these dog men things, maybe they're not as smart as us, but they're plenty smart.
They know how to defend themselves. They've done it all their lives. It's a predator thing. They know how to take care of themselves.
But I guess the problem is we just don't know what we're dealing with.
Right.
You know.
And we want to ascribe to them like feelings and and
intelligence.
Mores we have our mores and our morals and things like that, and you can't do that with an animal.
Right.
You just can't do it. So I think I think it's a dangerous thing.
I would agree. I really do. I think you're absolutely right. It is dangerous, but at the same time, yeah, I mean, I guess the only thing you can do is look at these situations as highly, highly dangerous situations. Like even a Bigfoot, and they just seem to be walking away. Like the story before, the guy was going to go ask directions from this transient, and then he realized, wait, this is way too big. It's got hair down to his shoulders. And then the thing was probably like, what in the hell is that guy up to?
Right.
What's he doing walking over here? Can you believe this? You know, he's probably like beside himself that there's a person coming right up to him. And it's like sitting there. It's like, wait, what? He told me to stop. What?
Right.
I don't know. We don't know that they understand language, but there's plenty of stories of them mimicking language.
Right.
There's stories in the First Nations of them trading with Bigfoots or the forest people. So maybe they do have an intelligence like that. But I don't know if the dogman is in the same boat. I'm not sure. I just don't believe that they're probably as smart as a Bigfoot. But I don't really know what that means either. So, you know, we anthropomorphize all of this stuff, right? We make it human-like. But I'm here to tell you, being a pet owner, and Don, you've got pets too.
Oh, yeah.
They do have a surprising amount of emotional depth.
Right.
Like you can see that they think and they problem solve and they even plan and they're not just stimuli response. They have a pretty deep, like they know when, like emotionally you need them and they stay by you, and they know when you're happy and they know when you're mad. Just, you know, there's so many things that they cue off of. So this is just a dog or cat.
Right.
And so how much more would these beings be? I don't know. I assume more, quite a bit more, but again, we really know nothing. So I don't know. I guess I didn't really say much in a long way about not saying much. I talked for a long time there without actually saying much of anything, as it turned out. But it's just how my head works. I like to think about this stuff and try to understand what is it we're dealing with.
Right.
But I think the fact that it was at that stop sign or at that area, confronted by the car, and took a beeline towards the guy.
Right.
And then the guy showing his flashlight, and then it got up and was like, rah, rah. It got up and it's like boxing its paws. It's like, well, that's not really a ferocious response. That maybe that didn't know the guy was right there, or was not quite.
Well, maybe it was trying to ward off the flashlight from his eyes.
Yeah, maybe it was like, hey,
batting at it.
You're killing me here.
What the hell are you doing?
I'm nocturnal, huh?
Come on.
Cut the lights. Jeez.
Hey, you just ruined my night sight.
Quit busting my chops. Yeah. Yeah, probably. That could be it. Maybe it was more just a blind, like, that hurts.
Right.
Maybe. That's a good point. I hadn't considered that. All right, so we're going to move over to a story or two, maybe one or two.
So Red Goblin says, I bet hot sauce is too spicy for their advanced noses. So talking about dogs, of course.
Oh.
But so what does that mean? Does that mean that we should like slather ourselves in Tabasco sauce? Because I put that shit on everything.
That stuff, Don.
That's what I said. That's
not what it sounded like in my ears.
But yeah, it's like somebody just said, "Hey, go get a box of bacon maple donuts and go walking." No, I'm not that stupid. Thanks. I said no.
Yeah, Android says, I heard Jack Carey talk about the dog man who came to government investigators' home from Skinwalker Ranch. That shows very high intelligence. Well, it shows maybe intelligence, or it shows just an incredibly acute ability to track. I mean,
right.
we don't operate with our nose. I mean, we really don't. We can smell.
We can barely operate.
Yeah, well, that's true, visually and with our senses. But, you know, when you've got a dog that can follow where somebody walked hours or days before, that shows you that we do leave little scent markings.
Right.
Everywhere we go, dander or whatever. And so those things linger, and a dog can pick that up just from passing through a forest area.
Right.
You know, so, well, I mean, is a dog man going to be much different? Maybe not. Maybe they can catch that same scent over a course of miles and, you know, maybe extenuated to a degree. We don't know how fast they move, or how fast they can cover an area, but is it intelligence, or is it just that they have such super senses that they can do that? This investigator lived on the East Coast. I don't think Jack mentioned that. Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Rachel says hot sauce. That's for OnlyFans, Don. Because I is spicy.
Sounds like you might have your first customer.
Yeah, well, that'd be amazing.
That would be amazing. Check out Don's OnlyFans. That'd probably be paranormal.
You know, that's me sitting there with the gnawing on a rib with grease fat.
I just don't need those mental images.
Hey, look, is he wearing a banana hammock?
I don't know. Don't do that to me.
That's a never-ending
We still
story.
got. Well, we never let you forget it. That's for sure. All right, let's go to this next one. This is from SasquatchChronicles.com. Again, everybody knows Sasquatch Chronicles, the podcast, but did you know it's a great website full of amazing stories and submissions by listeners and followers of the show? And we're going to catch one of those right now. And this is one, is this the first one? Yeah, I guess it is. Okay, this one's called A Feeling of Dread. It comes from the Sasquatch Chronicles blog as of June 22nd. Is that right? I can't believe I never read this. I might have read it before, but we're going to read it again. I've got other ones pulled up. I didn't know it was from June. Well, I guess, yeah, that's not that long ago. A listener writes, in late December 2020, we purchased about 6 acres of land in South Carolina, and we did not know that what we wanted to build on the land at first, so I didn't start working on it until late February, early March. Myself, my husband, and sister had not walked the entire perimeter, so we set out to do just that. I gotta adjust. Jesus. That's all sweaty. I'm getting like bunches of fabric here. Cooking in the nether regions. It's like, oh my God. I'm going crazy here, folks. Sorry. This is the show that you tune in for. Just remember that. I apologize, but I was getting the point of almost having tears in my eyes because everything was so uncomfortable. You have to adjust. Got too much to move around, I guess. But anyway, back to the story. We didn't know we wanted to build the land at first, so we didn't start working on it until late February, early March. Myself, my husband, and our sister had not walked the entire perimeter, so we set out to do just that. Excuse me. The brush was really thick, and we had to move a lot of branches. I grew up exploring my grandpa's land, so I was not unfamiliar with getting through brush, and I have a technique for twisting or propping drooping branches to another limb without breaking a branch, and this will be needed later in the story. We had decided to go the tiny home route and had to clear the land before the building we purchased could be set on the land. My husband did not feel well the days we needed to clear the land, so I asked my sister to come along. We set out with orange spray paint to mark the area to be cleared. As we made our way through the trees, I can spin 1 to 2 saplings that were bent in a perfect arch, like a rainbow. I asked my sister about if she had ever seen this happen before, and she said, I did it when I was twisting branches together, but not this. My twisted prop branches point up, not down. We finished up and headed back to my sister's house without another thought to the strange arch. The next day, my husband felt good enough to go out and see what I had marked. We walked to the area to be cleared, and he said that will work. On the way back out of our land, we saw the strangest sight we've ever seen. There was a tree that was flipped upside down with its roots in the air, and the top was inserted into the hole left by the removal of the tree. My husband and I have never seen any such thing, and we thought, and our thought at the time was that some teenagers had a lot of time on their hands to do that with the tree. It's a chat going nuts about my adjustment here, Don?
No, I was laughing about what you just read because.
Okay. The land was cleared the next week, and our building was going to be delivered the following week. It was well into May when we got back to the land and to get started on staining the floor. We'd planned to spend the night and rough it with no power and water currently. And that night I had to go with my sister to her house for only about 10 minutes. It had gotten dark and Derek stayed with the fire that we had started. When we got there, Derek told me that he had felt like someone had been watching him. He also said that it wasn't just being watched, but he had a feeling of dread that he just couldn't explain. This would have been very weird for him to say this because Derek chooses to fight when I would be the one running. We were working on and off till mid-June, and somewhere in there, we started listening to your podcasts. We're also watching a variety of videos on YouTube about Bigfoot/Sasquatch, and in one of the episodes of your show, a guy talked about finding these weird trees that had been pulled up by the roots and flipped upside down. I thought this was very curious, but that story did not ring any bells to me. In the next few days, my husband and I were watching a program, and they started showing these areas that had arched trees just like the ones I saw on our land. It got the attention of my husband and told him, I saw one just like that on our land. You saw what? Yes, I saw it when I was with our sister. That is also when I was reminded of the upside down tree that was on our land. He said, really? Then all the pieces, arched trees, upside down tree, and Derek's feeling of dread. Huh.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of signs there, I guess. I guess without a sighting, you can never be sure.
Right.
I think that's one of the liabilities of that kind of narrative is that unless you saw it happen,
yeah,
it's really a big stretch to say, hey, that was a Sasquatch that did that. It may not make sense, and it's hard to know for sure. It might seem like a logical conclusion, and it is a possibility, but you can't substantiate. I don't think you can substantiate a claim on just that alone. Right?
Yep.
You got to have a visual.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, there's got to be some kind of sighting there or, some kind of definite proof. I mean,
right.
Trust me, trail cams don't really work very well.
No. In fact, our good friend Dean Harrison of Yowie, Australian Yowie Research said if you ever want to get rid of them, put out trail cams.
Yeah.
They are extraordinarily adept at avoiding them and will usually apparently stay out of areas that have trail cams in them. Now, I don't know if that's always the case. Oh, thank you, Maggie. But it does seem to be the case that they can see them. Perhaps they can see the infrared light spectrum. Perhaps the trail cams give off enough ambient light. A lot of the IR assists are very visible with naked eye, at least on the bulb itself.
Right, because it puts out the light. It takes light to put out the light.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Light. Yeah.
There's commercial versions of those same emitters, the diodes that don't give you a visible light, but they do flood light out. But, maybe it's just enough that they can see it.
Right.
They know it's there. Perhaps they can hear the electronics in them triggering. It's hard to say. We just don't know, but they do seem very adept at avoiding trail cams.
That's true.
I don't think it's universally so, but generally speaking, they seem to stay away from areas that we've placed cams.
Right.
Even at that structure, we
I
found.
had them out there for days.
Yeah.
Didn't see one darn thing.
Yeah, they've been a week. Wasn't it over a week?
Yeah.
The one camera was out there for over a week, I remember.
Right.
Yeah. So, and not a thing. And that whole structure, after we found it, after we ended up in the area, they didn't touch it again. And maybe it was because our scent was on it,
Maybe it was because like Dean said, put out your cameras if you want to get rid of them.
Yeah.
So we put out a camera and it hasn't come back that we know of. All right. Well, there you go.
There you go, folks. And you know what else goes?
It's getting close.
It's getting right down to the wire, folks. We are almost done with our episode tonight.
That is correct.
I hope you guys have enjoyed this. It's always a pleasure to do these shows. I love doing these shows. And I love that so many of you come and join us on these journeys. Don't ever walk away from these shows thinking we've got any answers, because we really don't, but we've got a lot of curiosity, a lot of questions,
Right.
and we're not afraid to ask those questions. We're not afraid of it, right, Don?
No, not at all. What are they going to do to us?
What are they going to do?
Tell us we're wrong? Well, there's nothing new there yet.
There's a long line of people there. Dude.
We're Generation X. We've been told we're wrong all of our life.
Yeah, we are Gen X. Yeah.
That's right, we are.
We're not boomers like the younger kids think we are. We're Gen X.
Yeah, because they're clueless.
Just get it out. Just get it out. Yeah. That's
Hey, you kids, get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn.
That's the politically correct version anyway. They're clueless. But that's going to be about the journey for us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And remember, we do have a podcast. If you're brand new to the site and the show and you just wanted to check us out, thank you so much. Yeah. First and foremost, we always are thrilled to see new people popping in, and hopefully you'll become part of the family. Hit subscribe, hit the like before you go if you wouldn't mind. It would help us a ton, because it's all about the algorithm on YouTube here.
That's right.
You gotta please the algorithm. If you don't,
the greater the owl, the better the
you're just
rhythm.
Gonna get brushed under the rug.
It's just the rhythm.
We're trying to grow the show, and it's always cool to see new people coming in and checking it out. So thank you all so much for at least doing that, giving us a shot. We're not for everybody, but
there's a lot of people that just don't get it. I look at them and I said, what's there to get? It's 2 mooks in Idaho.
Yeah, we're an acquired taste, but give us a couple of doses and you might actually acquire that taste.
Or you go to the doctor for a cure.
Yeah, or we're a bad rash, and you'll be trying to cleanse yourself after every visit. But we love doing it anyway, and thank you so much. And remember, this is a podcast as well, not this show. This is the YouTube show. We have a podcast, though, that is usually us interviewing experiencers. Most often, we will get in touch with people that have experienced paranormal events, whether they're cryptid related, whether they're ghosts, UFOs, or the whole gambit, and we will talk to them. And so we've got 267 episodes out there right now, and there'll be more coming soon. Again, if you're a podcast listener and you've noticed we haven't uploaded any episodes for a while, we know we're not done. We just we were going to take a break initially. Again, I covered this at the front end of the show, but I'll cover it again for anybody that just might have come in. We were going to take a break, and that was all part of the plan, but we ended up running into logistical issues, dealing with a number of things. So we had to take extra time and get through those issues, and we're also migrating platforms, and that's a big undertaking anyway. So everything is moving along, and we should be putting up episodes again really soon.
Yep.
So thank you for your continued patience and support for the podcast. But we do these shows every Monday, actually Wednesday, Friday, Saturday here on YouTube. Although this Friday, no. Coming up this Saturday is Deb Varner.
Oh, yeah.
I just remembered. I meant to plug that.
Right.
So Deb will be joining us this Saturday. She is the Paranormal Portal psychic, and she'll be here doing live readings for callers to the show. So if you want to look at what's coming up for you, Deb's a wonderful person, and she's a very, very sincerely gifted person.
Absolutely. And if you do call in, call early and hold the line.
Hold the line.
There's usually a big queue when she's on.
Yep, and we will get to everybody on the queue, no matter how long it takes. Just know that we will make sure to get to everybody that calls in. So we may end up doing overtime off of the network and just on YouTube here, but in any case.
And you said no show on Friday, correct?
No show on Friday, though. I'm going to be out of town on Friday. I got plans and just no way to be here in 2 places. So that's what's coming up. No show Friday here on YouTube, but join us on Saturday. Deb Varno will be here. Don, you may be here.
No, I'm thinking
you're not going to be here.
I'm thinking
okay, so we'll see Don again next Wednesday, though. So until then, ladies and gentlemen, we love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day. And remember to laugh as much as you can. Don does it all the time. Look how it's worked for him. All right, guys. Love you bunches. We'll see you guys next time on the show. It looks like that'll be Saturday night. So watch for it. Deb Varner right here on the portal.
There you go.
Anything else in closing, Don?
Turn green and buy things.
The end.
The end.
All right. Roll the credits, folks.
Good night.
Good night.